I honestly feel like Superwoman.
It can be done. I'm proof I'm standing right here.
It's a great time for women to be working in mining.
I chose Canada because it's a very strong country in the mining culture.
With the work that I'm doing, I am making a difference.
I love that I'm doing something different every day.
It's hard to imagine that you can transform a chunk of rock like this into copper. And it's here at the mill where that transformation begins. Denise Shackelly spends a lot of time here. She's a mill maintenance electrician at the Teck Highland Valley copper mine. Denise is living proof that if you can dream it, you can transform your life.
I honestly feel like Superwoman. I do. I did this by myself. I can't believe it.
Hi, I'm Denise Shackelly. I'm a mill maintenance electrician at Teck Highland Valley Copper. The mill is where we process the ore. Our days vary from day to day. Some of our work orders consist of changing out light bulbs in the administration building, and other days we're doing preventative maintenance on large electric motors.
Tell me what your strategy was to first get into Teck Highland Valley Copper.
So I was trying to apply at Teck Highland Valley Copper for about 3 years as a red seal electrician, and finally I decided to get my foot in the door, I would apply for an entry position. So I was interviewed for all entry positions and was a successful candidate for a building service worker. And my duties included doing janitorial work in and around the mill. When I became a janitor, I actually learned some really good techniques to clean up my own house.
So it shows you can learn from any position that you're doing in life.
Absolutely, yeah.
So how did you transition over into becoming an electrician then?
I was working as a janitor for 6 months, and a posting became available for an electrical position, so I applied and I was accepted.
Wow, what was that like?
It was awesome. That's why I was here. I was finally able to utilize my Red Seal ticket.
Tell me about your family.
I have 2 children. I have a 15-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old son, and we actually just moved back to Merritt, and Teck Highland Valley Copper has actually allowed me to be home each and every night with my children.
Did you think that was possible, that you could work in the mining industry and do that?
Absolutely not. I thought I was for sure going to head up north somewhere and have to do camp work, so I'd be gone for long stints, like 21 days out, 7 days in is kind of what I was looking at.
Give me a sense of what your typical week looks like.
Well, I work Monday through Thursday, 10 hours a day, so I'm home every night. I get to help my kids with their homework, and I still cook meals each and every day. And on the weekends, well, we travel, I go fishing. I'd never be able to do that if I was working up north.
What kind of career advice do you give your own kids?
Well, I tell them that they can go to university, and my son actually wants to be an engineer, and I completely support that. And my daughter's a little unsure, so she's always looking up to me, and she actually has discussed that she would be interested in to get into the trade.
Are you happy about that?
Absolutely.
How come?
Well, I think if she decides to get into the trade, honestly, there's financial freedom at the end of that as well. And it's a career that I've loved.
What was your childhood like growing up?
We struggled. We were financially unstable. We didn't always have food, but my kids have no idea what living like that is like. My life leading up to being in the trades, I struggled financially. I had 2 kids. I lived in low-income housing, which actually was one of the tools I utilized to push me through school, and so I stayed in native housing as long as I could. And now that I'm in the trades at Teck Highland Valley Copper, I live in this 3,400 square foot mansion, and my kids can't believe it. Even today, my son looks around and thinks, wow, I can't believe we live here.
When you were younger, did you have any idea that you might want to work in the trades?
No, absolutely not. I remember going back to kindergarten, I wrote in my journal that I wanted to be administration assistant. I used to work in banking and I wasn't happy with my career at that time.
Did you feel like you got good advice when you were younger?
Absolutely. My younger brother actually was my first mentor, and he's the one that talked me into getting into the trade. The Trades Discovery program actually helped a lot because it was a trades discovery geared towards women, so we all had no experience in the trades. I honestly didn't know what I was getting into. I wore high heels and honestly lipstick. It actually pinpointed that electrical was in fact the trade that I wanted to get into.
So what has been the experience working with mostly men?
I'm not gonna lie, you do walk in and it can be intimidating at first. Being an Aboriginal woman in the trade, my challenges have really been kept to a minimal. I think it's going in with the right attitude, and if you give respect, you're gonna get respect. The guys have been great. They've accepted me, I've accepted them, and I ask the questions and they're all mentors.
What is it that you love about electrical work?
You're building something and you get to see the final product through to it actually working. I love it because when we come into some areas it's dark, and then when we leave it, then the lights go on.
So you literally are bringing light into a place.
Exactly. I still love flicking the switch and seeing the light turn on. I love that. It's what we do.
You get instant gratification.
Instant gratification.